hidden, forgotten. This is Harbor Town.
Oh, live. There we go. Live.
Harbor Town is an all-new series from Miniature Building Authority, the leader in tabletop gaming scenery. Unique, flexible, and playable. Harbor Town will take your games to it.
Are you good?
There we go. Yeah.
If anyone can hear me, if you guys can hear me, just say, hey, you can hear you. I want to make sure I don't have any other hearing problems there. And you can hear me, Tim. I know that. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I popped out the chat.
Oh, okay.
And of course, what is first mean? And it has a crown on there next to their.
I just said, can you hear me? That's funny, Rox. That's awesome. There's Tim showing up on that.
What's the crown mean?
Crown means you're the king of the world.
Oh.
No, it just means you're Twitch Prime, that's all. Oh, now I forgot what button I'm going to hit next.
I don't have a crown.
You don't, because you only have 3 things showing. You have a diamond, which is VIP. You have a first, which is you're one of the first 10 subscribers. You're a founder of the channel, and you have a 1,000 cheer badge. You have 3 better badges.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, you're special.
Lead them in weep.
What's up, Katana? Yes, read them and weep, I guess is good. You can say that. So.
It's better than a crown.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to go and get a refreshing beverage.
You're good. Got some time. Feels good, man. Off for a week, getting back into the swing. This is such a monstrously busy week. Hit the Reaper up quick. I gotta get a new, yes, I know, guys. I gotta get a new Reaper ad. I'm working on it. Definitely working on it, so. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. This map we're going to show today because there's something on it that pertains to the discussion. If you can figure that out, you get a cookie. Let's see. Oh, Jason nailed it on the head. Jason, good job. I asked, this map's up, and I said there's something that we're going to discuss tonight that's on this map that really pertains to the discussion, and Jason Zamota cracked it out, man. Yeah, he did a nice job, right, Othello? I agree 100%, man.
He was really good.
What's that?
Is he really good at Google, or did he know?
He hit that. Yeah.
I was just kidding.
What's up there? Getting the whole crew there, David, Leonard. What's going on, man? Yeah, I was very perceptive, man. So, and Tim, I apologize. I've been so busy. I haven't. Why didn't that switch? Huh.
Oh yeah, got a whole bunch of.
Oops, no wonder. I'm hitting the wrong button, guys. I apologize. I'm hitting the add button instead of the switch button. My apologies. I'll let them know tomorrow on the Monday game, Marcos. You'll give one of their players, you can choose if you're on too, regular hero point for that 10,000. So that's great. You know, could be the difference between life or death. You never know. That's awesome. I try to use those channel points to instead of just having goofy things like this. Where's Tim's head? There it is. Oh, the sunglasses look terrible. Here, we'll put Tim in deep thought instead. How's that sound?
What are you talking about?
You'll see. There we go.
Scratching my chin.
Said anyone? I made the mistake of saying happy Thanksgiving to David, who's Canadian. So I apologize if you're not American, but you know, hopefully everyone had a nice weekend. I know I did. How about you?
Happy U.S. Thanksgiving weekend. So then, saying a happy weekend.
I had a great weekend until about 3 hours ago, and that stupid Eagles game. My God.
We're thankful you're here.
Yeah, both of us. Good evening, members. Appreciate everyone hopping on. This is going to kick off a massive week. Hopefully I can keep my head above water with this. Well, I think it's gonna be a blast. I think we're gonna have a good time. So, yeah, here's the topic tonight. That's not in Greyhawk. So, it's kind of a joke topic, and Jason Zaverda came up with the idea, and the idea was, and we'll hop on in 1 minute here. There's a lot of great publications out there, a lot of third-party ventures that, you know, it's they're generic based or whatever, and you may want to use them in your campaign. I use a ton of them. Tim's used a ton of them. So, all right, it's 1 minute before. So, as our normally what we do on this time on a Sunday night, I come on a minute early. So, good evening. How is everyone tonight? I have the ever mysterious Tim with me tonight.
Yes, hello. I'm going to have to step away for a few minutes.
Okay, your son's home? Get that all set up. I'll do the talking. So I have Tim on and off. He's got his son. He had to take care of something. But and I'm J.K. Lord Gazumba. And tonight we're going to do That's Not in Greyhawk. Kind of a discussion on a lot of adventures that you could place in Greyhawk. And I said this was Jason Zaverda's idea, especially because Ruins Under Mountain. So, and it's one of his favorites. And where would you place it in Greyhawk? And maybe we will definitely discuss that one tonight amongst others. I have my Wall of Fame up. This is as you come down into my gaming basement, you see this right away. These are the 24 of our top rated, like published, not counting like Dungeon Magazine adventures of all time. And as you can see, most of them are TSR ones. Except there's 3 down in the corner that aren't. So out of 24 that we did this, I think it was at Gabbin number 7. It's been almost over a year ago. We did this, and 3 of these are third-party publications just because we love them so much. So they are not placed in the World of Greyhawk at all. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about them, like what we've done for placing them, or if we did at all, and then talk about some that I have never used that we could possibly place in Greyhawk, and then just decide, hey man, maybe you don't even need to place them; you just run them. I call this like nebulous placement. I think it's a trick of DMs. I mean, you guys, please let me know if you do the same thing. And that is that you say, well, we're in the County of Ulick, or we're in the Fiorendi, or we're in the Great Kingdom, but you never specifically state where it is to one of these adventures. I do that a lot because I'm not a map dotter. In the old days, I'm not placing every single thing on the map. I guess some people wanted that level of tediousness, which momentous ones we've put on there, but not ones that are a one-off or a couple night session, an adventure filler. So I'm not going to wait for Tim to come back. What I'm going to do is discuss some of the ones I know he does not know much about. Let me get caught up here. So we're on a new month, December 1st, and we're going to try and get to 1900 this month. Please, guys, feel free. I appreciate all the people on tonight. I know it was like, man, I hate being off like almost an entire week. Last time we were on was last Sunday, and I hate that. And but now we're all back on again, and it's going to be a super busy week. Mark's on tomorrow night. There's no Legends of Lore because Anna's traveling here to Philly, the Philly market. And then Thursday night's a huge night because Anna's actually going to be playing in the house here. And maybe as well Alan Grow as well. And we'll call that our Heroes of Greyhawk night. It's a one-off adventure. So we got a lot going on. Then I'm DMing at PAX Friday morning, Saturday morning. Going to be a massively busy week. So fortunately I work 3 days this week. All right, so some topics here. We're going to skip a couple of the first ones, and let me turn the scroller off so I can manually do this and hold on these. All right. So I went back a little ways, and one of the here's the funny thing, Jason. He grew up in Merchantville, and I grew up in Barrington and went to High High, and I guess he went to one of the Catholic schools there. We lived maybe 8 miles from each other, and I never knew him. So it's kind of the ironies of things. And his family's still here, and I know he's coming back, but not sure. He's going to try and make it to the Thursday night game. Yes, you grew up in Central Jersey, so we're all in that Central South area, and I'm still where I am. Just a little further south now, and that's probably one of the reasons why I have the 40-year campaign. All my friends, we all stayed here, which was a good thing. So, it's nice to have that group stay together. So, oh, cool. Thank you very much, Arcade. I thought I stopped the scroller, and I'm talking right over it, and I didn't. So let me do this. And all right. So 3rd edition came out back, I don't know, whenever it came out. Yeah, let me tell you something. They're getting rid of most of them, but there's a couple here and there still that are nightmares. They're around, and they are, if you've never been through a Jersey traffic circle, particularly in Cherry Hill back in the day, hey, Fairley, what's going on? It was one of those things you did not want to mess around in those circles, man. Accidents 5 to 10 a day. Hey, Frank, thanks for that, man. Thank you for that. Awesome. Frank is one of my poker buddies who really, I played 2 weeks ago, and I was terrible again, like I predicted. The Crucible of Freya. Now, this is Sword and Sorcery, and this is Necromancer Games, and Necromancer Games had some unbelievably huge names in it. Back, I guess we're talking late 90s, This was, and all right, 2000. Okay, Katano, I appreciate you helping me with that. So they came out, and we were on a roll, and I have every single one they've ever published. And this is a low-level, entry-level adventure. It's by Clark Peterson and Bill Webb, The Crucible of Freya. Now, it's a shame that now they went out of business. Necromancer Games owned a lot of the rights to Judges Guild stuff, but they went out and Frog God bought them out. Now, I love this company because they had all this down. Yes, Crystal Skull's one of them too, Jason. That's one I've never run. I have it. I have never run it. They had unbelievable downloadable content, extra maps, extra it was almost it was a Judges Guild feel. There was a Wilder Lands done all around these adventures. So if you take a look, low print runs on everything. If you take a look, this is all downloadable add-on content. All this for just this adventure, and it was all free in the download. All you needed was the code on the inside of the front cover. Now, unfortunately, those are long don't work, but this is the first and second level adventure. It was so popular with my players, and we're talking about now, just so you know, time-wise, this is adventure number 432. Now we're at 866 coming this Thursday, so we're right at the halfway mark going back. So we're looking at early 2000s we ran this. But my guys love this so much that they wanted me to make up a specialty priestess of well, Jason, I have one of those 300. I have every single publication that came out for them, including the Chinese ones that were missing. I got some rare ones here too. I'm going to share with you stuff that I've run and stuff that I'm thinking about running as well. So that's cool to know that that's one of the lower prints. So I try to keep these in pretty good shape, but I use them, like a DM would. Now, this is one of those nebulous. Cool, Greg. Super cool. This is one of those nebulous. Tim will be back, guys. By the way, he will be back. This was a nebulous placement for me. I'm like, where the hell am I placing this? So we just said Duchy of Ulick. So we never put specifically where this was, but Frey and Freya are friendly with the elves, so we placed this in the Duchy of Ulick, and we created. Thank you. We created our own. I created, and I have it to this day. I have a Freya specialty priestess on our list, so that is one that. And if you can get these, I don't even care if you're playing 5e or 1e. If you can get any of the Necromancer Games sword and sorcery stuff, it's awesome. The detail is unbelievable. They're thick. I'm going to give you, this is one I'm planning on running down the road in a mega adventure. I mean, look at that. This is the Hall of the Rainbow Mage. I've never run this one. I have it all prepped up. The first third of it. So this is like one of those. I'm thinking the Rainbow Mage is going to be like a quasi-elementalist or something in my campaign. So how would I place that in Greyhawk? Hey, I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so very much. Where would I place this? There's a lot of places. I mean, you could do this right outside Greyhawk. You could do this outside any major city that may have this crazy reclusive magic user. I mean, and they're all over the place. So I was also thinking right outside Altamira, I could do our own city in the county of Ulick, or even Divers or Verbabank. So great stuff by them. Oh, you did this one? Greg, that's great. I mean, like I said, they make great stuff, and I just back converted to 1E, 2E. It's not that hard to do it all in that. So, Crucible Freya, that was one of the first ones, that I want to talk about through the Sword and Sorcery group. And the next one, I'm going to flip to the map shortly. This is a huge one. I want everyone to note this, and note this name on here. If you can see the name on here, I'm going to get it out. I thought I brought it. The Siege of Durgam's Folly. It's by Mike Merles. We all know who Mike Merles is now, right? So he was working for this company back in the 2000s, and now he's, yes. This is a great, great module. It's got these automaton things in it, which are a little hokey, but I thought it was kind of neat. So our group, I put this in the Shieldlands, and our group, which is called the Shield Landers, or the Keep group. And the reason that they're called the Keep group, here's one, is because I placed for that group the Keep on the Borderlands in that area, in the Northern Shield Lands as well, for that group. That's why they're called the Keep group, one of our adventuring groups. All right, now I got my special Anna map up. Look at that. Okay, so if you take a look at this map here, you see Durgam's Folly is on this map, and you see the Order of Ulick symbol for the Shield Lands is right next to it. So this has actually been a campaign changing event, this adventure we did, Durgam's Folly. That adventuring group has Durgam's Folly as a base. The Drake Estate is a homebrew by mine that is also a base as well. And this is, of course, these maps are edited by Anna Meyer, the great Anna Meyer, for my campaign. And, you know, I always have to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, Anna. She could not be on tonight. She is planning to rock and roll for getting out here to Philadelphia to see all of my crew and come and work at the Syrinscape booth there as well. I saw that, Jason, that they are updating them to 5e. So if you're a 5e player, that's great for you. That you could you could do this these in 5e, which is because they're awesome. Then you won't have to worry about back converting them. Here I come back. So that's that adventure here is right on the map. You know, I placed this in the Shield Lands. It fit at the time, and now they have it as a base of operations. The actual Durgam's Folly location. It's a keep, and it's in our campaign from this day on. So easily done. And what I would say is, if you're an aspiring dungeon master to set up a mega campaign, or even set up a campaign you want to last a long time, this is the kind of thing that your players will appreciate the growth of the campaign itself by building up locations and reference points that are their own. So it's great to have stuff that's in, quote unquote canon that you have and that you're playing. That's cool because we all have that. But to make things your own, even if it's a homebrew that you did yourself and you placed it on the map, because there's a lot of homebrew things for us. It's cool, and my guys appreciate it. So, and I'm proud of it too. And I'm even more proud that I'm able to get it on Anna's custom campaign map for us. All right, this one is a mega one. Another one that I don't need Tim here to discuss. This one's a huge mega adventure. I know a lot of you have run this. I know Illustrion Greg has run this one or is running it currently, and I know Alan Grohe loves this adventure as well. And that is the Tomb of Abthor. It is a very long adventure. It's not Rapid Affix sized. Yeah, this Jason, I agree 100%. This is one of their best doings ever. I love it, and it's low level. It starts from second, and you could start it from first, even with a little pre-doing, and run this up to 8th and beyond. So this adventure for me was number 460. So we had Crucible Fred was 432, Siege of Durgam's Folly 437, Tomb of Abthor was 460. Only 406 before where we are currently. So we're talking, definitely talking early 2000s on this. One of Bill the Master Crafter's characters, Sarah. Is it Sarah or is it? Gosh, it's especially priest of this of Palor. She has the Star of Terror. Greg, has your group gotten that weapon yet out of this adventure? To this day, that's what her main weapon is. And so we're talking about years and years ago that we ran this for that group, and it is got a feel for, what would you say, Jason? It's got a little mixed feel of kind of a little Temple of Elemental Evil, a little feel of it, but then it's got the mix of the Rapid Affix, I think, and it's great. And so it's top 3 for ones that they did. Okay, well, it's a great weapon. You'll see, it's a great weapon. Hopefully none of your people are watching. So, but that comes right out of this adventure. And we placed this We placed this one actually in a remote area on the border of Furiandi and the Vespi, I believe is if I recall. So we did not place this on permanently on the map either at that point, but it fits in Greyhawk. This one is cool. I mean, tombs are pretty easy to do. You did tie it with your Rappin. Okay, Jason, that's cool. And Jason, where did you put Rappin in Greyhawk? I'd love to know that where your placements are of those two. That would be really so. If you want to put that in chat, that would be great. Bow March. Okay, cool. So you can go a lot of different ways with these adventures. And this was by Clark Peterson and Bill Webb as well, just like the Crucible of Freya was. So you got them doing both these great adventures. A great classic. And here, oh, look at that! Surprise, surprise! Hello, yeah, Tim is detained. He was on for about 5 minutes. So.
Oh, I was thinking you did it by yourself. So
that's good. No, it's awesome, man. Stay on.
Okay,
so,
I will.
Yeah, we're gonna go back real quick to something we just talked about. The previous adventure. This one, Durgam's Folly by Mike Merles. Okay. And we placed it right, as you can see, Durgam's Folly placed by you on the map. All right, right there, clear as day. So one of the adventures that we did that is a Necromancer Games adventure from the early 2000s, 3rd edition, is on your map that it's a location that the Order of Ulick uses to this day. So a major edit for something that's not Greyhawk at all, but it is in my campaign. So, and we just were talking about the Crucible of Freya, and we were talking about Sabbath Thor, and we have Jason Zaverda used this in Bone March. And Greg, where's yours placed? Western edge of the Yeomanry is where Illustrium placed it. So we have a lot of these third-party adventures that we're getting placed all over the place, which is cool. So good to see you, Anna. You getting excited?
Yeah. Oh yes, definitely. This is so cool. So I realized I need to pop on, and then I started to. Hey. So I realized you were doing it by yourself. So I was like, damn, you can't just do that by yourself.
No, it's good because Tim is going to have to go on and off a little bit here. Yeah. He's got some sun things going on.
Yeah.
So,
hey,
yes.
It's been a long weekend, and homework's misplaced, folders misplaced.
Yep. When I did a game this morning, one of the participants said, well, my kids are having a skirmish in the next room. I need to go and fix it. That was one of the awesome comments. That was so cool.
Well, I'm glad you were able to hop on because we're going to be going to your maps a lot, I think. I got I got 15 of them set up in case we need to reference them.
Awesome.
Yes. So, Tim, let's talk old days, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the early days in the 80s now. Since I got Tim, we were going to talk about. This is on our Wall of Fame. It's one of the 3. It's the oldest one out of all of them. Kazumba and Hawk, two of my great characters, actually ran this with Tim DM'd this first, before I DM'd it in my campaign, and that is this. Fortress Elendar. And look at that. He's got a sealed copy.
This is the very copy I used.
So I have it on my wall, and I didn't take my Wall of Fame stuff down. So I have a photocopy from Tim's rough copy, wherever that is, that I have all my notes in here. So Tim, why don't you describe this adventure for everyone out there? Well, first of all, let me say this: it's by Jeffrey Dillow, High Fantasy Adventure Series. I think it was done in 80 or 81. It's really early print, maybe even before that.
I'll tell you.
Greg just bought
79.
one off Noble Knight. What's that?
It's at 1979.
79. Now, Greg said he just bought one off of Noble Knight Games because he saw us talking about it and wanted to get it. I'm like, cool. So we spread the word on this great adventure. Now, go ahead and describe what happens, or you don't have to give away the whole.
You have basically two powers are at war, and there's this fortress, and most of the garrison is out. I guess belonged to the good guys, and it was going to be taken over. So they, I guess it was taken over, and so the plan was.
Yes, it was.
Because in the basement of it, ages ago, there was a demon lord in prison.
Demon
So
Lord, yes.
you're going to sneak in, free him, and then run to the escape point.
Yes.
And that way the enemy is denied that fortress because no one can go in there now because there's an angry demon lord in there. So
kind of
what
reverse
could go wrong
psychology.
with that plan?
It's kind of like the Thor movie, Ragnarok. I'm just going to free him, right? I'm just going to have Ragnarok come out and destroy everything. I mean, it's kind of the same premise when you think about it. So,
and actually, it's the first adventure where there were special archers, and they have some sort of name.
Pinoy archers.
Yes, and so the whole idea of a special sort of archer really started for us there, I think.
Well, the Pinoy archer had one major advantage, and that was they had the capability of seeing equally in daylight and nighttime with no penalty. So as you're approaching in the evening at night, they're hitting you at 300 feet with no negative penalty to see. And I have all my stats here to this day stapled into this, all the stats for these things. They were super nasty. Also, out front, there's a cannon. Out front, remember that? There's a magical cannon out front. Now, some of the greatest magic items are in this adventure. Name one.
Is this the Mace of Doom? Isn't it?
No, the Mace. No.
No. There's one that has a shield with a talon that comes out.
The Shield of Prey is in this. I just gave one of those out again. But the Shield of Prey is a shield, and it has the claws of like an eagle comes out and tries to grab. It gives you +3 to hit. Crazy.
Right. Well, that's quite a surprise to the person.
Yes. Also, the Prometheus clay, which you can take each day and take the clay and make any naturally occurring, because we had abuse on this, and Tim did not abuse this. This was Walt abusing this. It had to be a naturally occurring animal. He was making a Rumvaraxes, guys, out of it, and I think that's it now. It has to be naturally occurring. You guys ever see what a Rumvarax is?
How do you know what a Rumvarax is?
Well, if you do, it's like the super badger from hell, right?
Yeah, and they're from like a high gravity planet, so they had like 800 pounds with their 1.5 long.
It was just awful. And there's a lot of cool things in this. Now, I'll tell you this: you're going to need to do a lot of work on the monsters and putting them in. You're going to need to make up a cheat sheet here. You're going to have to do that, Greg. When you get this, you're going to have, because the stats are really not in here as well. Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of work, but this is a great story. And like I said, it's on our Wall of Fame. I've run it.
The maps were pretty neat, too.
The maps are neat. It's a great one. It's really cool. So everyone, there's some great indoor maps. You'll enjoy it. Now, let's go to Anna's maps.
Okay.
Move. It's okay. Shieldland still. Look on the A from the Old North Erde Road near the Plague Fields. Fortress Elendar is on the map. Okay, so mine took place pre-invasion. This is From the Ashes. Hey, Frank, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Well, hopefully you can stick on here a little bit, because we're going to have a mega announcement, because some stuff just got released today. Which is for you and me, for Anna and me here. Mm-hmm. Really cool. And let me throw up your shout out there. Did that not go? There we go. So yes, so we had Fortress Elendar. I had this whole campaign was a Bandit Kingdom Lord had taken it over in the Eastern Shieldlands, and they wanted this done. And so this was pre From the Ashes. So it deserved a place up there. So, and Tim, if you look at this map in the north, you can see the ruins of the Gradavis estate as well, to the northeast of Ringland. That's really mean of me, but yes. So, Fortress Elendar on the map. So, what's up, Sprocket?
I like a good ruin.
Well, Jason, that's cool that you never hit 570. You never hit the wars, because a lot of people don't like them. When we did the City Greyhawk box set, and then another good box set, but we didn't, not everything in there we took canon wise. We did a lot of things that were not done. So, Anna, do you have a thought about that? A thought about the From the Ashes? Are you neutral on it, or?
Well, from the ashes, that's kind of during the war. So for me, it was kind of we played through a lot of the happenings, so I tried to weave it into my campaign and adjust it a bit. So, and I took the Living Greyhawk, most of it in stride. There's some things in Living Greyhawk details that I kind of omitted because I didn't feel like that was a good match for my idea of Greyhawk at all. But from the ashes, most of it, yes, I saw. It's so sad that I saw Horn Society go, but I kind of made them into a new Scarlet Brotherhood. So yeah,
right. And your campaign, you were bringing them back too, which was cool.
Yeah,
so,
I kind of they're still there. They're becoming the new Scarlet Brotherhoods. Kind
excellent.
of. Yeah.
Excellent, because you have a place in your heart for things. Like
Yeah.
I have it that this Fortress Elendar is like on an island out here, and it was never conquered. So we haven't gone back to it, and we may one day. But our Fortress Elendar is still, it's still with the good guys to this day. Because I didn't, it's kind of one of those things that we did it, and then From the Ashes came out. We're like, oh, I'm not going to give this away. So.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Jason, I understand it's tough, and I'm lucky. I'm blessed with great friends. So 4 years is a long time for a campaign, actually. So Gary was already hitting at the upcoming wars in the beginning. It takes this setting out of the Cold War. Yeah, it's true. It's very true, David. I know you've been doing a lot of research and discussion on that, but it is true. So let me get back to the screen here, and that was. So another placement from an adventure on the map. All righty. All right, Tim. Probably, what do you think? One of the 6 best adventures ever made, ever?
Well, I want to do the one where I have 2 versions of it. Yeah. I have 2 prints of it.
So you want to skip Dark Tower and go to Tegel Manor first?
Well, I want to do the aged things first.
We'll go all the way to the back. All right. Now, I've never run Tegel Manor.
Oh.
This is the 1977 printing.
Wow.
Wow, that's a good sketch. That's an awesome sketch.
The map sheet is, it's like I don't know, it's 22 by, I don't know, it's big. Its entire manor of the Rump family, which started out nice, but then they started dabbling with things they shouldn't. So they eventually basically turned undead, the entire family, except for the current living heir, I guess, of the manor, who is a paladin. And he's always trying to sell the manor to somebody because he doesn't want it because of all his relations. And his nephew or his cousin, I think, is an assassin. But anyway, it's a really fun little local area. It's right on the seashore, right on a coastline somewhere. So it is firmly placed in Judges Guild, Wilderlands, but it is great fun. And you can do excursions at mid-level, but it is death to any low level.
So it's on the coast?
It's on the coast, yeah. It's the house is not on the coast, but the sort of area map, about probably 4 or 5 miles. There's a swamp there. It's on the coast. There's like a little pirates hideout. There's like a strange, mysterious monastery.
So
a little village. There's all sorts of areas you could do adventures in the area and develop the area, fit your own campaign.
It almost sounds like Saltmarsh area. I mean, it reminds me of the U series area. It could be there. It could be on the Wild Coast. It could be on the other side near Oars and Fishtown around Harby. It could be on the near Deeve even. You know what I mean? You could place it anywhere. So I've never run it because it is a dungeon crawl slog, right? I mean, it is a lot.
It is very. There's a lot of unique, unusual, bizarre rooms, if you will. I mean, there's over 100 portraits of the family.
Oh my God.
And when you go to each portrait, there's a chance. You can also use the number of portraits for wandering monsters upon, you run into dead relations. Mm-hmm. They're all there. But stuff happens to you if you gaze up and light up the picture and look at it. Things can happen. So I ran that in college, and they eventually cleared out the entire thing, plus the 1 or 2 liches that are involved, and then basically stayed. That became their manor that they cleared out and started living in.
Well, that's super cool, man. That you were able to do that. So.
Yeah. And this is the 77 printing, and this was the redo in the 89.
Okay.
All right, that's cool. And there's a black copy one, just like Dark Tower as well, I think, right? So they did a re-release. It was a 3E. Was it during 3E era, Tim, or was it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think they did.
Three.
So, let's go back then to this. We're going to talk about Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this was adventure number for us, number 217. This takes, yes, it's on my wall of fame. I wasn't taking it off my wall. I figured you had a copy. I love this thing. Love it. It is so diabolical. Without giving it away, tell about the first encounter before you even get to the tower in the town.
Well, everyone at the town, it's kind of a small podunk town, but it's a caravan stop in the desert. And kind of an out of the way one. Hardly anyone ever comes this way anymore because caravans disappear, but nobody remembers that now. So you end up in the town, small little shrine. Everyone's wearing kind of old-fashioned style. So when you go to the armorer, the style of armor he makes is like the kind of they would wear a couple centuries ago. It's like weird. Everything is, they're not real friendly. The reason is because they're all cultists that have been living there for 300 years because they don't age because they're linked to the evil Dark Tower.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so if you wander around at night, you're going to they're all out looking for you. They're all out everyone except for like 3 or 4 people are in on it. They try to drug you. You could start the adventure waking up in cells, waiting your turn to be sacrificed. So.
There's a lot of different things you can do in this. It is an adventure where you do not feel bad about slaying villagers. Now but once you get to that, then the cool thing is that there's a table. They're called Sons of Set. So this is all based around the evil god Set.
Set versus Mitra.
Yeah, and it fits exactly, Jason. It fits anywhere great in the West. I kind of like it. I don't want to say like the Plains of the Paynims, maybe. So that's awesome. That's awesome, man. We actually have people that are buying these adventures off of sites when they see them come up and us discuss them. And that makes me. I guarantee it makes us all feel good.
Yeah,
so
it is. You won't be disappointed. It is. I'm running it right now with my daughter. My daughter.
Well, Durgam's Folly was just purchased by someone too, so that's cool, man. That's so awesome. They're Sons of Set, and they can have all different sorts of abilities, and they're all mutations and all.
Yeah.
If you are a Warhammer person, you could have fun with it. Now, here's the thing: you go down the dungeon levels to enter the tower, so you don't get in the tower till you go through like 8 dungeon levels.
Well, as a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It used to be a place where Mitra was the local deity defeated someone, and so there was a town with a temple of Mitra there, and it was awesome. But then at some point,
it sunk, right?
Set struck back, and boom! Overnight, a black tower appeared. People got possessed. They slew the children in the town. They went through massacring people, and then in the cataclysmic battles, eventually mountains kind of slid in, and caved in, which is why it's underground. And then there was the rumor of, treasure and things like that. And people started tunneling down. And then they ran into stuff tunneling up.
Right.
So that's the.
But the cool thing about it is that you think you're down at the bottom and you're just starting. I mean, you got to go. It's and they have
when
good.
You get to the Dark Tower, to get into it, you have to go to the lowest level of the dungeon to get in the front door, and then you have to go all the way up.
Yeah, but there are Easter eggs in it too. They have a spot where you can actually look and see into the upper level of the Dark Tower itself when you're early on. You're like you're looking at your future kind of. So I mean, this is done. This has got to be done. What 77, 78?
Yeah.
A date on it. So
check it. I got the original here. Hey, the there's new artifacts. There's new types of creatures. Like I said, there's the Sons of Set. There's also Lions of Mitra. They're good guys.
Yep. I'm going to ask. We're going to answer a great question online. So NC's Zempin asked the following: these long adventures, you stick with one group and you go up super high level. I'm going to tell you this right now. For Dark Tower, where do you want to start them off at? 3rd to 5th, Tim, right? And you're going to finish up probably at 8th or 9th in 1E, 2E?
It's made for 9th to 12th level.
Yeah, it starts at 9th. I thought we started a little lower.
12th. You see, I'm sure it says something.
He's going to look. So, NC, if you watch... Yeah, go ahead.
Mine are my daughter's characters are all like 6th to 9th.
Right. Yeah,
but I'm it's my daughter, so she's got good magic guys.
Right, exactly. But that's cool.
What can I say?
So for us, we have not really permanently retired characters. This is going to be our 40th year of the campaign. We have different adventuring groups we jump back and forth to if you've watched any of our game broadcasts on Thursday night. For example, this Thursday we're doing the Windborn. It's a group, they're like 5th and 6th level. The week before that, we did the Hitless Swords, which they were like 4th, 5th level. We have 19 different adventuring groups. That doesn't count all the Order of Yule characters. That doesn't count all the super high level characters that come out occasionally, like Tim's Fencing and Leuven and all them. It does, So everyone's got a lot of characters, and we jump around because my guys like the variety of it. We don't run the prototypical pick an adventure that's been out there, Storm King's Thunder or whatever. We don't run that from 1st, run it up to 20th, and then finish.
The GD series.
Yeah, we'll run those, but like we'll get them to 10th, 11th, and then they'll go off and do other things. I try and keep all the characters active. It's a jumbling game, but that's just the way we've done things. So, and we're not typical of all adventuring groups. Like Anna, your groups.
Well, I'm the even worse that way. I never run any. The only adventure that I've ever ran as written or more or less as written is Hamlet. I haven't run any other adventure at all. I read them and take the settlements, NPCs, and ideas from them, and
you homebrew everything.
Yep. So it's yeah. I just try to. It's more like a simulation sandbox. Then cool. It doesn't have a story. I don't know what's going to happen. Right. I just play out things and see what happens. The NPCs have wills and they want to do things, and the characters want to stop them or they want to help them, and that's it. It's up to the players and what they want their characters to try and do. And then I roll the die, and sometimes I make a decision that thing happened, and often I simply give odds and then roll the die. If there's like a battle between 2 NPCs or 2 armies, I simply roll it and see what happens. And so I have like simple skirmish. I call them surrounding battles, and I use the challenge rating on the individuals, and you can stack units.
Okay.
So if you have like a number of orcs that have challenge rating 1, you stack 50 of them, and you have the challenge rating 50. The problem is that they still have the armor. I use it as armor class to hit value and hit points, which means that they hit like hell once you get into them. But the problem is that their armor class is still CR1, so to speak. So if you have a super dragon, can hit like hell, but he can also defend himself like hell. So it's very simple, but it works fairly well to just illustrate things that happen in the surrounding areas, and I adjust it a little bit. I don't let too many get into together, so to speak. So I kind of stack them, and I can describe battles, and I can kind of say that, okay, now this one conquered here, there's a siege around that city, and I just roll in the background between sessions and sometimes during the session.
You are true sandbox.
Yeah,
true sandbox. Wow.
Yeah, because I want to see how the world develops, so to speak, and I want the characters to go in and simply grab something that is happening and run with it. And then I just have to scramble and see, okay, what happens, and what is the evil overlord that runs that realm? What is his reaction to what's happening, and so on and so forth. So
I like doing that in the city state. I like doing that in the city.
Yes, he does that very well in the city state as well.
Yep.
His city state campaign. So, Nick, you're not derailing the conversation by asking that question. So let me put this in perspective. My character, Kazumba, the head of the Order of Ulick now, the characters existed for, we'll say 81. This would be 39 years for that character. He's 11, 12,
Wow.
12. It's 11, 12, 12. Maybe a year later, maybe 82. But he's 11. That's it. So the level of growth on these adventures does not go up as fast as you'd think in old school play. All right. So we have characters. Level growth. Tim's character Fensick is 16th. His thief is 18th. And how many adventures do you think we've done with them? 50 at least, right? It's got to be. At least.
Yeah.
At least 50.
Those two also, I adventured when we were younger. And my dad was playing in his group, and Mark and his uncle, and or brother-in-law, excuse me. So they got a lot of playtime, other additional.
Right.
But it took a long time.
And another great point is, if you run a campaign right, it's going to be more homebrew than not. So basically what this whole point of, we all love Greyhawk. So the idea was, we are all busy in life, and I do as much homebrew adventures as I can. The example, the one Anna's playing in this Thursday, and Tim will be there too, Anna, in person.
Yep.
All right, so this Thursday is homebrew. I try to do 90% homebrew. Sometimes you just got to plan out. Now, Carlos Lysing wrote adventures for me. He homebrewed them for me. I consider that homebrew still. But like some of these published adventures, it's good to have a filler here and there, especially if you have a long work week and you're not getting home and you're like, oh my God, what do I got to do? I got to set up the broadcast and all this. So we're going to get to some of those smaller ones. I'm going to show you these one-offs that I've been doing here and there, and they're cheap on Drive-Thru-RPG too. So it's a great point. But
consider the adventure as like the plan, and no plan survives enemy contact. So the party can throw things off. So it just gives you something to play with, instead of having to think it up on the top of your head. Although some of those are fun too.
It's good to have a good mix, and some of the original classics on our Wall of Fame. I mean, you have to have that discussion point. Everyone has Temple of Elemental Evil as a discussion point, right, in your campaign, or you should have. Right, or I'm not saying you should have. In Greyhawk, Temple of Elemental Evil is the big one. You can see it's on the top upper right. It's all on the top shelf. And then you have Return of the Eight. If you did From the Ashes, and Tensor was killed and Alec was killed, then you have to run Return of the Eight, and that's on the second row. Then there's Ravenloft, right? And there's all these other adventures, and it's great that you ran. I'm glad I ran them. Back in the day. There's the G series and the D series.
Ravager of Time.
Ravager of Time's on there. Ravager of Time is one of the greatest, craziest adventures of all time. And that's really not placed in Greyhawk. That's a UK series one. So you have to steal from things, and Brian Blumklatt said it best. If you're not stealing from other D&D things, then you're not trying hard enough. Right? Because, there's yes. So I'm glad. Absolutely. So
you should definitely steal ideas and plot points and stuff from everywhere you can. And I steal from real world happenings and politics and how machinations work and stuff. And you don't have that many democracies in a fantasy world, but there's a lot of autocracies and various kleptocracies in the world and stuff you can steal ideas from, and how do things work. Motivation. Exactly. Oligarchies and theocracies and stuff like that. It's great. So when you see these and movies are good because they kind of emphasize the drill down. When you read about it in news and stuff about real world, it's kind of not that boiled down to the ugly bits, so to speak. It's more kind of masked behind things. So but movies and TV series and books and stuff are great because they give you the kind of the juicy bits and nothing else.
That's kind of like how when I was developing my evil anti-paladin for the city state, I made him so polite and nice and person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, some of the slimiest bad guys
Yep,
in
yep.
movies are so nice. They're like you don't know
Exactly.
they're the bad guys.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, meaning some villains are like the monsters, so to speak, the demon, and some
He's
are sleek.
devilishly handsome.
Yeah, they are the sleek, and one of them I think is the movie Legend. Have a wonderful fiend, demon.
Yeah.
It's so beautifully portrayed, and I say beautifully because it is pure art, so to speak. And that's something that every DM should watch that movie and see that fiend, whatever is a devil or something in between or a demon or whatever. But its portrait, it's fantastic. It's one of the best underworld fiends I've ever seen in movies.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
And it's Tom Cruise.
Both visually what it looks like, but also the behavior, and it's Tom Cruise in it, which is kind of weird to have Tom Cruise in a fantasy movie.
Young Tom Cruise.
Exactly, young Tom Cruise. We're talking early 80s, even before Top Gun.
Yeah.
So,
Well, here's the thing.
Yep.
That came out after Top Gun, but it was filmed before Top Gun.
Exactly. Yeah, it came out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Tim Curry is the evil bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The devil is Tim Curry. That's funny. That's funny, Frank. Yeah, you could say that maybe. He does a great roles and stuff.
He's like, without me, you will not know it good.
Yep. Yep.
Tim Curry also was the original It, wasn't he? In the original made-for-TV movie It, I believe that was Tim Curry as well.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
Also, yeah.
That was one with John Ritter and the guy from Night Court and all those people in it back in the 80s.
So I do have your answer.
Yeah. What year?
No, the number
Levels.
of adventures and levels. 6 to 10 adventures, 7 to 11th level. Should have.
That was
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking
That's
that the Dark Tower. There is a black dark. Vecna had a Dark Tower or a Black Tower, so it's kind of interesting that way.
Well, that may have been pulled right from an homage to that adventure, going back so old, because Judges Guild is the first third-party game you think of from D&D. You just think, wow, all these Judges Guild adventures were out, like Operation Ogre, Spies of the Light Elf. They were all out back then. I mean, everyone's like, what are these things? And they're like, oh, it's another company. And they're like, and then you think to yourself, someone could do that? I didn't realize you could do that. We never thought about it that way.
They have some really great tables, social interaction. But anyway, the Dark Tower is good.
Yeah, definitely. And it's on that Wall of Fame, along with Fortress Eldar. Let's talk about this next one that's on the Wall of Fame. Tim never played in this one. This is Harbinger of Darkness, okay? This is by Underworld Publishing, which they only made like 3 adventures. And I found this, now, has anyone ever gone to this place? In Baltimore in the 80s, the Armory Distribution Center. Everyone remembers the Armory out of Dragon Magazine, right?
Hang on a second. I have a teacup because
the Armory.
Yes, it's kind of it's so cool because actually when I was part owner of a game store in Sweden, we were looking for an American distributor, and I simply checked the Dragon Magazine, and they always had an ad from the Armory every time.
Right.
So I just called the number and found, I think his name was Ben. I can't really remember, but I talked to him like several times because the other one's like, oh, we can just call them and we have to like talk in English or whatever. So I just did it, and somehow weirdly he believed me. So he sent a box of stuff on its way, and I promised to pay for it while it was in transit, and he trusted me, and so that went on for almost 10 years, I think.
Did you pay for it?
Oh yes, I did pay for it because we got successive future deliveries too. So and one of the things he sent in there was a mug with the Armory on it that I've used as my drinking cup for my games for decades back in Sweden. So, and this is back in the 80s.
Yes. So
so it was kind of funny. Yeah.
Right outside of high school, we found the Armory, which was off of Reisterstown Road in Baltimore, which you didn't want to go there today. Trust me, this is like in 85, 86. They allowed you to go into their warehouse and just pull stuff out and pay the retail price for it.
Wow.
So I found this adventure on the floor at the Armory, along with, I think there was 2 other ones, Blade Singer and something else. So I have them all. This is the best one of the 3. This adventure basically is, there's a necromancer, and we all love necromancers, trying to summon an evil god, like a demon / god to the world, and you have to stop them. And Also, the armory, I found a lot. You always found discontinued stuff hidden in corners. They weren't very good on inventory, so we always went down and we found stuff. Figures, like I found all the old battle technologies down there I didn't have for BattleTech, all sorts of great things. So this one is tough to find nowadays because it's so been long out of print. Now, this has one of the funniest things that's ever happened in our campaign. This is why I bring this up. Everyone knows that there's Bill the Master Crafter, then there's the other Bill, the No Just No Bill. And I'm going to refresh everyone's memory who that is in a second as I put up this tier 3 emote for everyone. But this is the No Just No one, the other Bill. There he is. All right, that's him. All right, so Bill had, and you've heard this story, the Arabella story. He had a Dwarven fighter named Arabella Hotforge who had a Dwarven thrower. There's a pit in this adventure. And there was a purple worm that comes out of the pit. Well, Arabella threw her Dwarven thrower at it. She fumbled, hit the wall, and it broke. It said weapon breaks, and it was like only a 5% chance because it's a +3 of all special abilities. It broke. It was like a 1 in 1,000 chance. Bill was up and down a lot, as Tim remembers. What does Arabella do? She looks at the party, and she just does a Nestea plunge, and she just jumps into the pit, and we never see her again. So whenever you hear Arabella,
the shame of not bringing back the family heirloom was too much.
Yes. So whenever you hear Arabella is still falling, that's the joke that goes on to this day from this adventure. Now the irony of, and Bill the Master Crafter talked about this in a previous discussion, was at the end of this adventure you find an even better Dwarven thrower at the end of the adventure. So that was the irony of it all. She had just stuck it up.
This is before the Lord of the Rings movies, right? Before before dwarf tossing became a thing.
This was just dwarf suicide. So
okay.
one of the and that's just the way he was. So, but that's what came out of this. It's a great adventure. Yes.
Always gotta keep up.
So it's on our wall of fame. It was very momentous. There's some cool new monsters in it. I think there's bone golems and blood golems in it. There's some great. The caduceus snake is in this. One of the coolest magic items ever, and it's based on the Doctor's snake symbol. It's an actual snake you keep in one of your pockets or on your legs. It bites you. First bite, it does a cure critical of the day. Second bite, it does a cure serious. Third bite, it does a cure light. So that is, and one of Walt's characters has that item, which is out of this adventure. I placed this one because of the summoning and stuff. I placed this one once again in areas, nebulous areas, but I said that this was taking place in the Wild Coast, and that this was in an abandoned area. I think this is right after Greyhawk Wars. So
that cover sold it, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So this is another cool one. This one's gonna be tough to find, Greg. It's great, but I would look on Amazon for this. I think I got my pristine copy on Amazon that's in the shrink off of for this one, and it may not be that much. $35 on eBay. It's not too bad. So to have it, not too bad. The picture of the guy inside looks like the Undertaker, the wrestler, by the way, the necromancer. It's kind of funny. It ripped right off from him. So let me think here, Tim. Let me see. What one? We got to get to that. Okay. Real quick.
We have a good question from MC Zippin.
Yeah, just call him Nick. So when you place adventures all over the map, do you parties travel a lot? Yes. Okay. Travel, it depends on the game and it depends on the group. Now, we have groups all over the place. So we have groups that are in our free city of Altamira in the county of Ulick. Here, it'll help better if I do it this way. Okay. So this is Altamira in the county of Ulick. We have multiple adventuring groups out of this area. So this is the county, the Wild Coast, Saline. It's not far from Greyhawk. So it's not a long travel distance on this one. All right, we have a lot of adventuring groups here. There's Saline, there's the Vespi, This is the Vespi Forest. We have adventuring group, a major adventuring group up here. The Eagle's Nest is an Order of York location in the Vespi, so we have that as well. Greyhawk, the domain of Greyhawk. Greyhawk City is on this map. Hartby's on this map. Multiple adventuring groups here. So it also depends on who's playing. We don't have one group covering the whole area of the entire map. We have groups that are already placed in certain areas and we tend to use them based on what the adventure is and the level. So it's kind of a multiple answer to the question. It's the group I want to use, the level, and the location. So, hey, thanks. Thank you, Rethix. Rethix is one of your home companions there, Anna, with Skagith. So,
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
And he plays a lot in Skagith games. Thank you so very much for that, man.
Yep.
9 months. So you just got the Michael Baton Gold Sword, Rethix, at 9 months.
Wow.
There. Yep, absolutely. Blow up of Greyhawk, blow up of Hardby, and then some other, and of course, the Principality of Ulick, Pomarge area, a huge area for us. So it just depends on the adventuring group we're going to use. And so travel time is limited by that. So let me get back to the beginning, and I'll get back to number 1 there. So, yeah, Sprocket, look at you, man. You got the 12-monther there, 13th month subscriber. You got the flying gold Michael Baton sword. Now, guys, in order to get a 2-year plus, I got to get the partner eventually one day, but I keep on getting rejected. So we'll see what happens. One day maybe, but I'm stuck with the Michael Baton flying gold sword for 1 year at that point. So, but before that, Tim, you got one you want to talk about?
Next one. Well, there's the module, and there's the one from the magazine.
Oh, okay. It's called Tease and Thane. I don't even have that up because we talked about that one in the yep. Sprocket's going to love this one. Jason's going to love this one. We talked about this one a little bit back in the day when we did great adventures in magazine publications. Halls of Tease and Thane, which would be a great one to place in Greyhawk as well because it's a stationary. The entire thing takes place right there. So
there's a small little village nearby, a couple hours away, in an old dead volcano.
Tell us the story plot behind that one. I'm going to start the scroller on this so we can go through a lot of these.
Tease and Thane was a high level match. There's a couple of new monsters. He had his bodyguard was like a big furry creature, like a big furry gorilla type thing. But when it killed something, it would eat its brain and then temporarily have their knowledge and skills professionally for a while.
Ooh.
So Tease and his 2 brothers, also evil guys, they didn't like him. They wanted to get rid of him, so they concocted a plan. And they hired an assassin who was told that Teasen was getting rid of his bodyguard soon and replacing him, and then sent the assassin in. The bodyguard kills it, eats his brain, and finds out the fake info that Teasen Thane is turning on him. So then he kills his boss. And then he eats his boss's brain and then finds out it was a lie and goes basically insane from all the power and all that.
Right.
And so going insane. And so the 2 brothers have little factions in the manor, and they're just hiding out from each other, trying to lure adventurers to come and deal with this problem because he's too powerful for them. And so that's, enter the characters.
What White Dwarf is that in?
17?
Okay.
18, excuse me.
So you want to get White Dwarf 18.
Enterprise on the front.
Yes, you want to get White Dwarf 18 to get that adventure. Okay, that's where you want to get that one out of.
There's all sorts of problems in there too, because he had this temple to this evil deity, and there's these black stone statues, like 30 of them or so. And when the moonlight touches them, they animate, and they're like -4 armored class, and they go until they find human blood. Then they go back. So villagers are, they're also looking for help because people are being killed at night. So
awesome. Where
it's good time.
A mountainous area, right? A mountainous retreat.
It's like wooded, and it would have to be kind of mountainous because there is it's a dead volcano. So in the crater of the volcano is where
in the crater of a dormant volcano.
Yeah, and so basically now it has a lake and a pond in it.
Is it jungle warmth or is it more temperate?
More temperate.
Okay.
Barrier peaks, hell furnaces.
Not. I was thinking
Hell
furnaces, but it's kind of tropical warm. That's what I was thinking about.
Even a foothill, because I mean, you know.
Yeah, foothill gets colder when you go up. So yeah. But we have volcanoes. The only major volcanoes that seems to be active are either in the hell furnaces or you have White Plume Mountain.
Right, but it's an ancient
right
crater of
one. Then we can make it.
Even the lore mills. You can even do it in the lore mills. You know,
it's like
ancient volcanoes can be. Yep. They can be anywhere.
And
unless you wanted that.
Well, it's good to know that there are a lot of adventures out there that you can place that are in the White Dwarf magazine, in Dungeon magazine, and in Dragon magazine. I don't really. Let me give you guys the number of the. It's going to be on YouTube because it's not going to be on our D&D. It's not going to be on Twitch anymore because it was more than 60 days ago. But let me do this for you guys and just get the adventure number. The adventure. Listen to me. This is the show number that you want to go take a look for a lot of adventures that we did on this discussion. Give me 1 second here and I'll pop this up. I don't have them all memorized, but I do have a listing of all of them. So if we go to our shows, yes, we did talk about a whole bunch of other ones.
Favorites.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one. So it was called number 49. It was Gabbin number 49. We're on 73. Classic Adventures and Magazines. One before our longest show ever on Gabbin, 5 hours, our 50th show, where we just talked and talked and talked all day long about various Greyhawk topics. It was awesome. So number 49, it'll be on YouTube on our mirror, and it's Lord Space Gazumba. And here, let me pop this up real quick for you so you guys can get to that if you want to take a look at that. And not there. Man, there we go. That should do it. Okay, so the bottom one's a YouTube mirror. Of all them, so you can take a look at that. So Nick, you said that earlier, but maybe you didn't catch it all. When you say we have multiple adventuring groups, that means, all right, no, okay. So, my God, you're going to think we're insane. Let me take care of this. Alan has 60 player characters in my campaign. 60.
60 characters?
It's like 1.5 a year. It's not
60 characters.
I don't think all my players I've ever had in all my campaigns or over the years have had not much more than 60.
Tim probably has 20.
Wow.
Yeah, because remember, we started playing in 1980.
Yeah.
We play and we have different groups and we go through different.
That's true, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have children of adventurers playing. We have all sorts of other concepts and other areas that we branched out in. So it's a true campaign, and other groups can affect what another group is doing, all sorts of things. The only way I can, Nick, is just try and, like, when we do a high level event and all these other characters, like when we did Defense of the Watchers Towers, and that should be up on YouTube as well, all these different adventuring party characters all came together for a cause from all different groups to defend the Watchers Towers in the Pomarsh. And so that'll explain, like, they can cross over in different campaigns, but they're all different characters. It's not the same character in different adventuring groups. Everyone's got different, usually two. We do multiple characters as well. So this Thursday night will be interesting because we're going to have a lot of people only playing one character. So.
Guilty.
Yeah. Well, Frank, it's just the way our style's unique, and it's another reason why we wanted to stream it from day one, because we're completely different than anything out there, with the tabletop and with the style of play. So, and it's fun. We have and you have generational characters, which makes it even cooler. I'm on Elijah Winchester IV, right? So, and all the other ones are alive still. So, and the first is he's like 115 or whatever. All right, so let's talk about Ruins of Undermountain. Jason, where did you place Ruins of Undermountain? Now, I don't have the box for this, unfortunately. I have this, and I have this, and then I got some inserts on it. But there's Ruins of Undermountain. I know this is the one you wanted. You put it right in Greyhawk. Elaborate in chat, if you may. Did you replace Castle Greyhawk with this? There you go. You did. Okay. So Wow, that is okay. Cool. So Jason Zavoda took the ruins of Greyhawk and replaced them with Undermountain. Very interesting. This is a large, long adventure. Okay. It's huge. It is
I have it in PDF somewhere.
Yeah, it is massive. It's definitely Forgotten Realms, and I know that this is one of the ones Jason wanted to bring up. Well, I will say this: I was really not a fan of Greyhawk Ruins, and especially the spoof one. You know
the comical one.
Oh my gosh, and it was.
Yeah.
Wasn't that oh gosh, he's on a lot on Facebook. Who wrote that one? The spoof one.
That I don't know. But it should be here somewhere.
Who wrote the spoof Castle Greyhawk guys? Greyhawk Ruins. Who wrote that one? Yeah, the one with all the crazy monsters.
The one with a giant with a tongue hanging out, running out.
Oh man, my brain just shut off.
But actually, I like the image on the front page. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a cool one.
I was disappointed when I got that because I was just like, this is all a joke. But I liked the original one. I thought didn't have an idea behind it. But when Expeditions to the Ruins of Greyhawk came out, that 3.5 one, I think Eric Mona did a lot of that. Okay, I thought it was wasn't a lot of the pictures done. Oh gosh, he's on all the time. He's on the Facebook groups all the time.
Hang on a second.
Oh man, I apologize. But I loved Expeditions to the Ruins of Greyhawk. I thought it was very well written. It says various authors. How about the okay.
Various authors, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack Ways did level 4. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So it was really a mess there, and I guess, Jason, that makes sense, but I was kind of glad that I held off and didn't do anything with...
It's different chapters. Let's see, General Jaquay, John Terra, Greg Gordon, John Nephew, Scott Benny, Rick Reed.
Oh, Scott Benny was involved in that. Scott Benny does a lot of great stuff on in Dragon. Sprocket, not the original Ruins of Greyhawk one. It was the serious one, the spoof one.
This is WJ or WG7. Yeah.
WG7. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Came out in 1988.
Well, thanks. I didn't realize you were over there, Nick. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. We're earlier, 6 p.m. EST, because Mark's group does 6 to 9. So maybe, and I know if you're in the crafting community, Jacob Jansen plays in that group. Jeff from that whole area. So thank you for hopping on, man. Yeah, and I hope you have a good night, Nick. I loved the Expedition to Ruins of Greyhawk. We did it right before we started streaming. I wish we were streaming at that point because I think it would have some good stories in it. But Ruins of Undermountain, you need a large area. I mean, and that makes sense for Jason. Wow, that is like major changing of the. Oh, okay, cool. Got it. All right, man. Excellent. Yes. Excellent, man. So you just got on our Discord. So thank you so very much. I appreciate that. I should have known that because you're one of our latest followers. So thanks, man. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you coming on here, and thank you so very much. So we got a lot of great stuff coming up. We're doing really well with everything. I'm having a blast, and hopefully you two are as well, with all the new content plus all the fun things. It was Keith Parkinson. Why am I thinking? Oh man, it must be because I ate too much during this whole week because I can't remember anything. So, yep. What do you think about Tim? What do you think about a major place change? Have you ever? I mean, have you done something like that? Like taking something that just should not be where it is and just go, I'm just moving it.
The city state.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But
did I take something and I've changed things inside small. I never had anything that I disliked so much I had to just say no.
Right.
Change it. Although
And we know
I
Anna's answer.
anticipate doing that maybe depending on.
Okay. We know Anna's discussion on Horn Society. She hates what happened on Horn Society, right?
Yeah, but I still live with it, so to speak, and that's my thing. I take the what it's thrown at me, so to speak, and then I kind of work with it. I take it as a challenge as a GM that bit like players have to deal with the obstacles that comes during the game. And for me, it's like, well, but what I often do is that I tweak it, so to speak. So I often make it sometimes much bigger. It's like the Temple of Thoristun. It's this tiny little thing with lots of weird traps and whatever in it, and that is not my thing. Actually, the players had never been into it, but I've started to flesh it out the way I wanted it, so I made it way bigger, and it has a much deeper. It's not a kind of a convention adventure where you have to go through and go through the hoops and then survive it. It's more like an old stronghold for a cult of his, so to speak, that was kind of been there for a long time, and there's now that not that many left, but there was still some there, and then I never ended up using it. So it's something that is like fleshed out to about 25%. So it's there if I need it, so to speak. So I tweak it, and I try to live with the basic premises of things, and I don't move around. If someone decides that there's a city out there, then okay, now I have to come up with some damn reason there is a city out there, even if, because sometimes I don't like the reason that is presented, and I have to kind of tweak things. So I try to see as a challenge for myself to and I tweak the world around things sometimes to make it make sense. So that's the tricky bit. But then I add in more stuff than I change. I add in a whole bunch of stuff into it to make it work, so to speak.
Sometimes you just do what feels right, and that's the right thing for you. And
exactly, and that every DM should have their own version, own take on it, so to speak. If they like to just get rid of things and change it, awesome.
Super cool. Now, Mark couldn't be on tonight, but Mark's doing Gates of Firestorm Peak. Okay. Now, this is one of those generically placed, as Bruce Cordell, right? Is that who wrote this? And he's got a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to get in touch with him to try and get him on the show, because he did Bastion of Faith, one of my favorite references of all time. Now, Mark has placed all what he's doing, and he's on a lot of 4th edition stuff. I don't know if I have the map up for this. I think I may have messed up, so I'm not going to switch to it. But he has it in that Cron Hills, Lort Mill Mountain joint area there, where there's not much going on in that area. It's near Verberbach, but there's not a lot of detail in that area of the Lort Mills, how the Lort Mills kind of turn, right, on an angle a little bit, and he has it up there. So he put it there, and it works for his campaign. And Gates is fun. I mean, he got their group got nailed in that teleporter a couple weeks ago, the teleporter trap, and they're bouncing all over the place. Yeah, and you saw that. It was just a mess. And Mark's brutal on those guys, and they're new players too. I mean, he's way more brutal than I would ever be with them. But then again, I abused Marco a lot when he was younger. So I guess he's taking out on someone else now, right, Tim? So yeah, exactly. So that's a good one to do as well in the generic 2nd edition realm era, where all these black bordered books came out, all like the Sea Devils and the ones on Beholders all came out during this era, and they're all good things to utilize. So you could place them almost anywhere you'd like in that Greyhawk realm. I want to get back to finish up with these. So let me finish up with these and get these done, because we got some more good ones here.
And then Crucible of Freya?
Yeah. I already talked about that while you walked away. But this one,
I need to see if they look at that.
Yes, I have it right here. I mean, we'll come over Thursday. You want to borrow it? You're more than welcome to. Chaos Rising. This was actually done by the Iron Brigade out of Greyhawk. This is it starts. It's for 4 to 6 characters of levels 12th and above. That's the start point. So we're talking about mega cranking out. Now, when we get This is the one that Alan always goes, was it an evil act because his gnome poisoned the well on the evil army that was there? Remember this discussion? You always hear Alan talking about him poisoning the well. His Kroger Blackrock poisoned the well, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
So,
it was an act of war.
well, exactly. But, it's like, well, the wells, they're not the only people going to be drinking from the well in the future. So, but whatever.
They're making an omelet.
Yeah.
Gotta break some eggs.
Exactly. This at the end, you fight Dweebelix. Yes, you do. So and characters, yes, and characters have bad nightmares. There's mental implants into this. There's a whole bunch of new spells. This is long. This was adventure number 465 for me. So we're going back a long time ago as well. It's another Necromancer Games one. This one's by James. Oh my God, my eyes are blue on Kalora. So you did this one? Did you do that one, Greg? Let me know if you did that one. And then the next one up is one of my favorites of all time, Trouble at Durbanford. This was not that long ago, number 693. It's in hardback, and I did not bring the hardback up. Okay, this is we did this right after Temple of Elemental Evil with the Omega Patrol group, one of the worst named groups of all time, Tim. Thank you. And the last
patrol you'll ever need.
Yes, the last patrol. Well, this one we placed in Grand March. I placed it at Durbanford right in Grand March because I figured that corridor between where the Cat area and south, Bissell, Grand March, and that, this town was kind of like, it fit well in our campaign there. I should probably put it on the map, Anna. And
yeah, we need to make a re-edit of the map because there's a lot of stuff that is.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yep. This one should really go on the map because it was a major city. This adventure I had on the table. I had Holland on the table at my old house. That's how I know how long ago this was. It was at my my old the awful basement. Tim remembers that place, and I love this one so much because of all the side plots that were in this. There was this drug called Higdine that everyone was getting addicted to in the town. And so that was a minor side plot, actually a major side plot. You don't have to do that to do the main part of the adventure or the whole thing. But, of course, one of Walt's characters, Kananga, his lawful good dark elf, got addicted to it and tried to join the cult that was using it, and now he's chaotic neutral. He's a mess to this day, but that's Walt's characters. What do we expect anything else, right, Tim? So that happened in that adventure, and yeah, there's a lot of great side plots in that. So
I'm not sure I can criticize decision making for characters recently.
Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. We'll see about Thursday night now, won't we?
No, man, that one I'm fine.
Yes.
Lawful good as ever.
Lawful good as ever. So I really highly recommend, and I thought I stopped the scroller on this. I highly recommend Durbanford, Greg, if you have that one. But consider it. You're going to months. That's months long. And I only think the guys went up 2 to 3 levels in it. I really spread it out.
That side plot, which is what gives it texture and and feel. Plus, you guys maybe aren't quite high enough level. You can have them do some side business and side things till they get high enough.
Yeah, and there's things you can do in town as well. There's all sorts of businesses you can do. Things you can do with them. Look, I spilled stuff. I spilled water over my shirt. There's things roaming the hills that need to be taken care of. There's a Grimlock lair that needs to be dealt with. There's all sorts of things all over the place. So, plus there's the most favorite monster at all. I don't want to ruin it, but spell Goblin backwards. They're actually in that adventure. So yes, there's everything's in that one. So yeah. All right. Small creators. I just ran one of these. Dungeons of Days Gone By. I want to give this guy a shout out. They're very well done. They are $1.50 on DriveThruRPG. These are all the stuff in the lower left-hand corner. These are all adventures I've streamed by Dungeons of Days Gone By. The first one being the Cracked Lantern, which is showing right now, and it had a gypsy feel to it. This is in fact Tom's return. This is over a year ago. Tom's first full adventure he ever ran was this one. All right, so the Cracked Lantern I ran, One Nighter, Ring for the King. I ran right outside of Greyhawk City. That one, okay, and that one was right before we started a new group of firsts. So we're talking about a year ago as well. All right, and then I ran the Blue Crystal Mine, and I ran that for the new group in the Principality of Ulick right before Carlos's first adventure, Mushroom Blue. So I ran that one, and I had to go get these crystals out of the very basic. Look, it's for levels 1 to 3. I ran that one, and then just recently, everyone should remember this. I ran Hellfire Mountain, which was the volcano. The whole thing was melting, and he had the globe, and they were trying to summon. Imix. I remember Dorgrim got Imix.
Did watch part of that.
Yes, that was that one, and I completely changed the whole plot around on it, but it was based off on that. So, and these were all placed in Greyhawk, and they're all general, and they're all small, and they're like $1.50, and I would take a look at them. They're pretty good. There was adventures 834, 839, 844, and 864 for me, and I use them as fillers when my brain is mush. So or it's got a good concept in it. So those 4 were the 4 we streamed, all placed in Greyhawk. The last one was in the Lortmill Mountains. And so that we did. So yeah, and if I recommend them, Jason, they got to be good, right? I'm just kidding. So no.
Yes. Yeah.
For me to use someone else's content and recommend it, I like it. So and stream.
You're recommending ones you've run.
Ones I've run and ones I've streamed. So I'm only going to discuss the ones I've streamed. Yeah, man, cool. So so many adventures, not enough time, Illustrian. Greg, you're absolutely correct. If I were to go downstairs and all right, I'm gonna did I show a couple other ones? All right, here's one. This is worth some money too, Jason. And this is a reprint, even though this is the Necromancer Games version. I was thinking about running this, and I'm running this in the what's the tunnel that they Solaratin? Is that the one they come out of? Anna?
Lerutin's tunnel.
Yeah. I was thinking about moving this one into there.
Oh.
Caverns of Thracia, which is an original Judges Guild.
Yes, this is I have the original.
If you have the original in perfect condition.
PDF.
Yeah.
PDF.
I have this in I have this in PDF, and because I don't want to mess this up, so I use the PDF and I printed it out and all. Spock, if you have the Judges Guild original on this in really good condition, it's worth a boatload of money. So, yeah. Yours is probably coverless, Jason, because you used it so much. It's really good. I was thinking about running it, but if I run this now, we're looking at months. I mean, this is a long, long adventure. But we always come back and forth to it like we did. So, but that's one of the ones I was considering. So let me see here. Okay. I'm going to make sure we get through these. I know we're going to have a lot of general discussion here. I don't know much about Night Below. I don't know that much about it, but I know Jason said it was a good one. Anna, do you know much about it?
It's a lot of cool stuff in it. I've just read through it. That's about it. But I think you can probably set it a little bit where you want, but I think one of the official, because it is not officially a Greyhawk adventure, but it has a bunch of locations and stuff that are applicable to put in Greyhawk, and so the it's set in the Yeomanry. It's one of them where it's recommended if you set it in Greyhawk. So
there's a recommendation for it.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly.
Okay.
Now, just the top of my head, and it's 10 years since I read it, so some mistakes might be made here. But I think it's the hi Carlos. Yep. So it's one of these really, and it's a thick one if I remember correctly too, and it has a bunch of cool described encounters and stuff in it. It's one of these kind of Underdark campaigns before the Underdark was really a phenomena.
Carlos, please stick on if you can through the end, because I got a huge announcement you should probably know already. But yes, Absolutely. So it's like a full box set for that Night Below. It's hard to find too, and that's the one thing I love collecting box sets, and I'll get them just to collect them.
Yeah.
Tim, you like collecting, the old Judges Guild stuff. It's kind of an addiction for me. The box sets are so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They're super. I mean, it's probably $100 for that box set now.
And still, they didn't make a profit. They made a loss on a lot of them, according to legend. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good, Anna. I appreciate you having that information because I know nothing about it because I don't own it. One of the few things I do not own with that. So.
Who makes it?
Oh, it's D&D.
It's official TSR. Yep.
Oh.
It was official
official
second edition.
TSR.
Second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was one of those black bordered ones like Gates of Firestorm Peak as well.
Yep. Came out late second edition, I think. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good bridge campaign. That's cool, Jason. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's a Carl Sargent one. So, nice. Now, I did not put the what's the one, the Night of the Comet one spoof up, the Falling Comet one that's black bordered. What the heck's the name of that one? Jason, can you help me out on that? The Comet, the one I was like, oh my gosh, should I do this one? It's a box set one as well, and I was gonna buy it, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm never gonna run this. Yeah, Tales of the Comet. I'm never gonna run this thing, but and that's a black border one as well. And but I wanted it because it was box set because I love putting the box sets up. But it's not much I can say on that one. It's one of those you get a spaceship falling or whatever. So we won't even go there on that one. So Tim, I got a couple more here. What do you you got any other Judges Guild ones you really liked?
Well, I've used.
Oh, wait, we didn't talk about the Forest Oracle.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh, that's an old.
There you go.
Rings a bell somewhere.
There you go. Tim has shown. I didn't have it up at time.
Oh yes. I have it, but I never ran it, and I don't think I've ever read it.
I did run this in the City-State campaign before it became the City-State campaign.
Yes.
And just as a little trivia, Dravilia,
my character.
Yeah,
I love
Jace
the
Garrett
art.
using a two-handed sword, fumbled and hacked off Andrus Philandris' leg at the hip.
No. Whoops.
I love the art. The art is fantastic on the front.
The art is good, and the maps are really good inside anyway. I think that, like, they kind of do it's the first one I think I saw where the map is kind of at an angle aerial. I think.
Yeah, it's one of these kind of
it's like Ravenloft.
Ruined fort.
Ravenloft
It's like Ravenloft.
too.
It's like what is it, 60 degree or I don't know what.
Yep.
So who wrote that? Is there an author on the front or the back?
Carl Smith.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What was the premise behind it? And
the premise is your party is, I guess you could have been lured there, but you end up into this kind of countryside farmland, but things are looking bad. The town is upset. All the crops are failing. The trees are failing. They're all worried about starving to death. They basically kind of were rude to a gypsy, and she cursed them. So everything went bad. So, since generally you're good guys, and they're offering you a reward to go to the Forest Oracle, which is like a high-level druid, and get the stuff they need to kind of revitalize their lands. And so along the way, you can actually run into the gypsies and actually do something for them to get them to lift it. But you basically kind of follow the line. You're following the storyline. It's pretty, there's not a lot of leeway in how it's written. You kind of follow the path because there's only certain ways to get through the mountains to the forest on the other side. But it's pretty good.
Tim and I were talking, and when he said gypsy, I said, well, it's definitely not Greyhawk original base because they would call it Rennie or something else differently. There are really no gypsies in Greyhawk, right? It's called gypsies that I'm aware of.
And the Atloy, the land, the brethren or the cousin folk that are related to the Rennie that lives on the on land instead of on barges, they call the Atloy, and they are from the Gord series that are depicted because Gord, he kind of struck up the companionship with them. So they're called the Atloy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of generic terms, and so it doesn't really firmly place it anywhere. So I don't think it's set anywhere.
So it could go anywhere that there's a druidic setting in, basically.
Yeah.
So it could go in any forest.
Go to a mountain pass, but if they're big enough to where it's snow on top, because you end up getting snowed on.
Okay.
So
Lord
high
knows.
enough.
It could go Lort Mills. It could go Yatils. It could go where the Vestby and the Yattles meet. It could go Grandwood, even. It could go almost a lot of spots. I think. Yeah. Awesome. I'm trying to see if I have up Discord because Sprocket said he linked something. And did you do it in general, Sprocket?
I had my daughter do that one too.
Well, hey, I mean, there's no problem in running something a second time. Oh, there it is. All right, I can't. Yeah, I'm on the wrong machine, so I can't link it in. Yeah, that. Wow. Yeah, the original Caverns of Thracia is blue, as opposed to red. So, wow, that's pretty cool that you have that, man. I'll definitely put that up. Yeah, it's on, but I'm on. I can't throw it onto. My Discord's on a separate computer than on my broadcaster, so I have no conflicts like I did before. So it's mint. That's cool. I would take a look at that, man. It's probably worth a pretty penny. Definitely on that one. All right. I got to show some of these. It was a good one, though, Tim. Definitely a good one. All right. Aberrations. I ran this one right in the county of Ulick. Yes, another wonderful Necromancer Games product.
Now we're into the 3D or third edition era. This is
yes.
The D20.
When I saw the name on the notes, I was like, I just wanted to go with the name.
Casey Christopherson wrote this one. This one is disturbing as hell because this reminds me of Carlos. This reminds me of your favorite person, Marquesa. There's they're doing all sorts of awful things. They're like intentionally mutating. The family is, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but if they sit down, they invite you to dinner, you may want to think twice. That's all I'm going to say. In this adventure, it's really it's a disturbing adventure. Definitely, really.
Yeah, aberrations are supposed to be disturbing.
It was really.
Aberrant behavior is bad.
Hey, Dorgan, what's up, man? Cool. Glad to see you on, man. We were just talking about you. The IMIX thing again that came up. So when we discussed that in the adventure, Hellfire Mountain. So all right, cool. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, but yes. So Tim, no, it won't work. Take Anna, can you take that Sprocket link, take it, and then share that?
The Sprocket link.
Yeah, Sprocket link in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I copy and paste it in again. Yep.
Did I run any Necromancer Kenzer modules? I have almost all of them. The K series. There's like 13 of them. One. I think I ran one. I have all of them. I have Zyhez. I have the one with the disc. All of them. I got every single one of them. One or two of them. Grey Citadel I have not run. Grey Citadel has that whole attachment download that we were talking about. It's an entire campaign setting in itself. They put out a ton of stuff. All right, so Aberrations was another good one. All right, Advanced Adventures, big Ostrich publication company that is in Expeditious Retreat Press. That's in, and you usually can get their stuff 50% off on DriveThruRPG.
So they're still in business and publish this? Oh, yeah, Ostrich, it's kind of new then. Ooh.
Yeah, well, they've been publishing for a while, but they have all different editions. The Advanced Adventures, the old school stuff. Some of it's available in print, some of it's available in PDF. You can get both. So this adventure here is the basis for all the ones that we did. This is the first one I think I ever ran. Barrowman's of Gravemoor, 623 was the number we did. I placed this. I'm going to pop this map up because it's kind of important to discuss because it really ties in with something that's going on in the campaign and the Harby setting and the Slavers reference. So let me go to that real quick. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Okay. All right. So Harby, see there's Harby to the west. You have the High Pass near Delaware Castle. And the High Pass is where the Coven of Necromancers are. All right. So what I did was I placed near the High Pass to the south in that like hilly area, I placed this place called the Gravemoor from this adventure. So there's barrow mounds out in that area. And you're going to know this in a second, Tim. There was an evil, I don't know if he was a necromancer or a wizard, named Lord Twal, Twal. Okay? Twal. And this is where the Twal items come from, and this is where I go back to the Gravemoor a lot of times. So this ties in right with the Necromancer group up there, and that there's basically a burly area where there's all these. You don't, in past history, you don't know if they were against Zagig or if they were, if they were predating Harby, but there's a lot of mounds in that area, so that's where I put this. And Bill's character has the Twal's mummified member. It's almost like a semi-artifact item, but he's not on. We won't discuss that, but it actually can rot limbs off. So on that item, so yeah, Tim gets the idea. But I love this series. There's about 35 of them for 1E, 2E out there published, all available on PDF. And this is the only one I wanted to discuss because it's the only one I have really one or two. Oh, I have this one I haven't run yet. The Conqueror Worm. This is levels 10 to 14, so I'm saving this one for a day when I'm really angry and pissed off. 10 to 14, yes.
Thanks for the warning.
Oh, cool, Celestian. Thanks. I have the compendiums that have the levels 1 to 3 and levels 4, 5, and 6 in. There's hardback books. They're good too. I have those, but I don't have I don't have the compendiums of all the. But you can get them on DriveThruRPG, right, for a lot cheaper. So, yep. So, oh, he did write. So Andrew Hind is a prolific author. He wrote for DCC Goodman Games as well. All right. So thanks for that, Mike. Good to see you on too. Appreciate that recommendation. And it's like half price. So you get like adventures 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30. I think of all those Goodman Games ones in a mass download cheap on there, and look for sales. I think they're running Cyber Mondays tomorrow. I think there's going to be huge sales on there. So another one. You have all the compendiums, Greg. They're good adventures, definitely. Okay, did I miss anything for us? And then we can discuss some others. Let me go through this real quick. All right, we did all those. Did that. Dark Tower, Harbinger, Crucible. We did.
All the ones I had pulled, I did.
Yes, you did. No, we did. There's one we still haven't done. We wanted to discuss one of Star Falls, right?
Oh, we did. Okay. I thought we weren't doing that.
Yeah, we could do that. Diamond Fortress, one other one. Okay, this one I think I only have it in PDF. The Diamond Fortress comes. I put this in the Shield Lands up like in the EU's raised area, and it just the fortress was killing the ground, kind of like the Plague Fields was. So I figured I'd put it up in that area, and it just kept on expanding, and they had to stop it so they could figure a way into this fortress. This is another good necromancer. Oh, it's a K. Yeah, there's the question. Here's one of the K Kenzer ones. I knew I had done one. So that one, and that was the Legion did that one, and it was high level. And it was and let me see. That wasn't that long ago. That was Adventure 778. Oh, listen to me, not that long ago. Yeah.
Like 100 adventures.
Yeah, like 190 adventures ago.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I can't add 90 adventures. 90 adventures ago that was.
Math in public is dangerous.
Yeah, so that finishes that up. So Tim has another one he'd like to discuss.
I like When a Star Falls.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's talk about that. That's our UK one as well. Go for it.
So in this case, I guess there's kind of a backstory. Basically, there's a citadel that has sages in it, and people go to them and they predict. They have this set of books. Well, the sage gets he can only turn one page a day. He gets to it and finds out it's blank, and he finds out the rest of the books are blank. And he's told he's got to trade a meteorite to a special group of people, who will give him the new set of books. That's all he knows. And so he's trying to send one of his guards, his monks, out to do the mission, which fails miserably because he's attacked by a monster in the module called a memory web. And then the party is attacked, and then the party gets the residual information from him. They find out what So they basically can either take up the guy's mission, and it's basically you got to go find where this meteorite fell, and anyway, it's sort of detective, but
cool
stages. You find out where it fell first, and you got to go kill the people who have it, and then you got to figure out where to take it to. And then when you get back to the Citadel, the guy's minions have turned on him, and now he's held up in the tower. So then you got to free him. So,
oh, cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's really good texture, good art, good maps.
Where and any setting, any crossroad setting?
Putting you, in a place with mountains and green and a river. So it can.
So you could put that. Once again. You can put that Yattles. You can put that the Barrier Peaks. You can put that in the Lord Mills, because a lot of them have those things. You could tailor the map a little bit too, which is cool.
It's fun. I also ran that for my door.
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. I mean, the UK series are all good, as well. All the UK ones. The Sentinel, the Gauntlet. We already talked about a little bit about Ravager of Time. It's on the Wall of Fame. Yeah. Nasty, right?
Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of detail to certain things that make it a little bit more.
Yeah, there's a lot of descriptive detail in them.
Yeah.
They seem to go one step beyond in that day. Night's Dark Terror is a basic adventure, which is another good one that Jason put up. I haven't run it, but I have it, and I checked. It's a good one, definitely.
Well, I have one. I don't know where it is.
Veiled Society.
Yes.
I knew you were gonna say that. How did I know? Because you loved running that back in the day.
Oh, it was the first Taste of City, and you were first level, the low level one, and that's where Cartha Radu came from.
Right. That's how I remember that one. The Veil, because there was 3 different factions there, right?
Yeah.
The Radus, I forget the other 2, but yeah, it wasn't just one-on-one. It was a 3-way deal going on. Oh, listen to me. Right. Yeah.
And that aged him 200 years too.
It's Veiled Society B4, B5.
B4, I believe.
B4, I believe it is too. And like I said, the great thing is you guys can place these fairly easily, and if it's your own campaign in Greyhawk, you're not going to offend anyone by where you place it, and that's the cool thing. So, Anna, any do you remember from playing or discussing, or that you would think would be cool that it's not Greyhawk that you may, and I may be throwing you for a tough one here, but.
You mean
module? Yeah, or anything that you think would be cool to put into Greyhawk that may be a little twist.
I was thinking that one of the really good module that came out that is not set in Greyhawk was the city of Lankmar.
Oh, okay.
And that one has a fantastic city map with some interesting geomorphs and a lot of detail. And I remember I was kind of drooling all over that awesome module when it came out, and that is something that I think there is definitely place for, and that's one of the things that you can probably set down in outside of the Flanny's regular area down in the southwest. You have areas that are not described they're basically an empty canvas. There are some names, and on my map, for instance, there are some names and stuff, but you can just disregard all that if you want to, because there's, and you could disregard anything, but it's even easier because there is hardly no material. And that's where you could put something like Lankmar or something, and it could be a huge city that do trade and stuff. And you can even put it in Hipmona land if you want to.
Well, here's my theory. Yeah. Sassarine is Lankmar ripped off.
Oh, that is a great idea.
Yeah,
yep,
I think that's actually what it is. Actually, that's my theory on it. Is that that is actually Lankmar.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Yeah, that's one that I just and you have the Thieves World. Is that
That's Robert Ashburn books. Yeah. Tim loves them.
Yeah,
there's
some other kind of really cool stuff that came out that way that you
cleaning up today. I had to decide whether I was going to give away my Thieves World books or keep them, and they ended up in the keep spot.
Yeah.
Do you have that Thracia one, Anna, that you can link? The Thracia cover from Sprocket, did that pop up? The blue
yeah,
cover?
I put it in back in the links. I put it back in chat. So then I'm also not.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not a moderator or anything. So
I was gonna say, I mean, we can do a Zoom share on it real quick, just so everyone can see it. Do you have it on your machine and just share your Zoom?
Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, hang on a second. I'll go back and
yeah. When you do that, and then let me know, and I'll go to the number 10, and we'll just pop it up real quick.
Yeah.
And just show the blue cover for people. If you find this, you want it. It's gold. So
there we go. Yep. And hang on a second. I'm just going to go here.
I got the full cover.
Perfect. I'm going to share and
it should go to full. There we go. There we go. So that's Sprockets. That's Sprockets. Pretty good condition. An acid-free bag. That's the original. Look at that. It's got $4.99. Is that pounds on that Sprocket? $4.99 in pounds.
Yep.
So yes. So there you go. And that is that's the original Paul Jack. If you have that, that's awesome. So in pounds. Okay, cool. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, and we wanted to get that out and make sure that we showed that. Thank you, Anna, for doing that. I'm going to head back to one here. And so cool. So we could go on forever. I mean, there's so many of them. And the one thing I wanted to do was say that we have used a lot of third-party company stuff back in, especially when we were younger, because when you're like 14, 15, coming up with non-hack and slash detail-oriented stories is not the easiest thing in the world to do, and so it took us all time to get an acuity for doing that, Tim and I both, and but I'm not embarrassed to say I've used these and placed them in Greyhawk in my campaign. I think they've enriched them, and you've seen I put them on the map, in a lot of locations. So there's nothing wrong with that. And Gary Gygax always said, I dropped my cat. Make Greyhawk your own, and that's what I think we all try to do. So it's a cool thing to do this, and I'd say there's a lot of Dungeon and Dragon ones that weren't specifically written that we discussed in a previous, in episode 49, that we've done the same thing with too, and we've placed them. And that's just part of being a good DM and part of getting your players excited about things. Sometimes it's okay to take other people's publications and use them for your own. That's why they're made, So that's been a cool discussion. You guys got anything else you want to put out up there before we go to announcements tonight? I know this is going to be a monster week, so I got a ton of announcements coming up. A ton of stuff.
I actually
go for it.
The B1 adventure.
Keep it. In Search of the Unknown.
Caverns of Quasqueton. Is that in Greyhawk somewhere?
The Hidden Shrine of Tomoacon, you mean C1?
No, B1.
B1 is Search of the Unknown.
Right, it's the Caverns of Quasqueton, but are they actually somewhere on Greyhawk?
No, I don't think so.
No, but they could be placed there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The same thing with Keep on the Borderlands.
I put that in the Shieldlands.
Right.
Keep.
Makes sense.
And one of the suggestions that came is to put it in Yeomanry because there's a corner with the area, so that's where I put it. But on the other hand, I didn't name it Keep of the Borderlands. I actually named it the name the Keep had in the adventure. So that's normally what I do. And hang on a second, I can say what the Keep's name is. Let's see here.
Oh, okay. He's saying
both Gaetano and Jason say that they're suggestions.
Yeah, it's Kendall Keep, I think it is. Or is it Fort Kendon? I forgot which one. I think it's Kendall Keep.
I actually have in a bookcase back there.
Yeah, I think it's
B1
Kendall
in
Keep.
the first box set we ever got.
So people that wonder why things aren't, why the module names aren't on my maps is because I name things what they're named in the module, not the module name. Because if the module is it's called the Keep of the Borderlands, but that Keep, I think if I remember correctly, is the Kendall Keep. So that's what it's called. Or the Lord is Lord Kendall in the adventure. So that's why I call it the Kendall Keep.
When my dad first ran it, and he named it Gorendal, and that's all I've ever referred to it, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it says in the module.
Yeah, but that's great for your, it's cool that that's a little thing for your personal campaign,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yep.
So great discussion, guys. I mean, we covered something, and thank you, Jason, for coming up with the idea for this discussion. This will get us to next week's. So let's first discuss what's going on with everyone. And Tim, where are you going to be Thursday?
Thursday, I'm coming over to Jay's.
Oh, for Heroes of Greyhawk night, right? Yes. So
with one of the characters with the longest name, I hold the record.
Yes.
for our adventuring group.
And it's on the log sheet, guys. You'll see it. It is the longest name.
Good as ever. Brace yourself.
Sir Reginald Rathmore, David Errol, Champier the Fourth, Defender of the Faith, and Vanquisher of the Unrighteous. Will be being played Thursday night. So and he's dual class human, so he's only 6th level mage. Yeah. He has not gotten his paladin back yet. So cool. Guitar, I'm glad you liked it. So Tim, what else is going to be going on? Where's my shout outs?
We have the December 14th Saturday night special.
Yes, we do, and there it is. It'll be a week from Saturday.
And I know there might have been people disappointed with how easy the last fight was.
I don't know about that. I don't.
This one will be inversely proportional to that one.
But here's the crazy thing, Tim. Tell everyone who the people that are playing in this one is, because normally it's a limited crowd. I'm playing.
Oh, Jay, Valerie, my dad will be there, and Walt will be there, and Alan, and then Mark.
And Bill, too, possibly.
And all right.
Everyone but Tom.
We're getting the band back together.
This is going to be like the biggest. No, Thursday night may be bigger. So, because Thursday night may be bigger coming up. So, yes. Yeah. I have a feeling it's going to be a nasty one, but I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So, So, do you have the JG City State Warfare set? Tim, do you have that?
I have that on PDF.
Yep.
It's okay. This one's going to be more like you got to go after the bad. They're going after the leaders.
Yeah.
Because they killed all the. There were like 12 fireballs in the span of like 8 melee rounds. 9 of them in the first 4.
Yep.
So, yeah, 0. Low level guys they got rid of them fast.
But once again, I'm going to have to be ingenious because I'm starting a new adventure on Thursday. Tim's running, then I'm finishing the adventure the Thursday after that, and that'll be like the 18th of December. So I got to have quick terrain turnaround again. So
that's your fault.
I know. It is. It is my fault. It definitely is my fault. So that's what Tim's got cranking up, and I'm excited about. And you picked, what color did you pick for Thursday? You picked Dark Star, right? Okay. All right, cool. I have that all worked out. And Anna, what's you'll see Thursday night. It's only 4 nights.
Yep.
What you got going on, Anna?
Well, I will be in your basement on Thursday night too. So yeah.
That sounds really disturbing with the way you said
I was just going to say, when I say that to everybody, they're like, "What the hell are you going to do?" But people that watch this channel should understand what that means when I will be in your basement. Is that because you have that awesome game room. So I will see it in person, and I will be part of the game. I will play a Sylvan Elf,
Imri,
Ranger. Magic user.
Yes. Yep. Ranger Mage, Imri Cyril. And I'm going to throw out a little, as you're talking about your other things going on. What else are you going to be doing at PAX while you're here?
Well, I will work in the Sirenscape booth, and I will also visit the Cobalt Press booth and hang out there quite a bit too, in between shifts, because I have some stuff that I've been doing for Cobalt Press over the years, and more is coming. So and also I will while we've been doing this, I've been doing a lot of progress on my 576 map. So before I leave, there will be a huge new installment of the 576 map, including the Pomarsh, Wild Coast, Greyhawk, Horn Society, Furundi, Voluna, and more. So it will be basically an extra third of the map being done with the So there's a lot of cool things. I'm especially interested to see what the people say about the Wild Coast, because it's a new take on it, so to speak, or the old take on it. But I don't think anyone has actually dug in and looked at the area that much. And I've also found, this is interesting, I found, especially for you guys, I found in the Principality of Ulick, I found a couple of new places.
Oh, really?
Yes, I found, first of all, I realized that the little that I thought was just a keep that is called Ritter's Marsh is actually a city. It was named a city in the Patriots of Ulick.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the population didn't seem to be that. So I made it a large town on the new map. And there is another town south of it, between Thunderstrike and Ritter's March. There is a town called Riddling's Pass that is from that adventure.
Cool.
It's mentioned in there, and I did this like over 20 years ago, almost like 15 or 18 years ago. So I didn't know and didn't read. Now I read through that module today, and I found that, damn, that is like, it's a town called Riddling's Path, the pass that is full of halflings and a whole bunch of other people.
Are they in the hills? Are they in the
yes,
hills
they're on the road between Ritter's March and Thunderstrike. So they're on
Ritter's March is south of it on the way to Haven Hill. Is that where it is?
No, it's north of Thunderstrike. So
it's north of Thunderstrike.
Oh yeah, Ritter's Marsh is basically 3 days south of Altamira.
Oh, perfect. So it fits on the map perfectly.
Yep.
Actually, and if you turn left, you can go to Glipdale.
Yep. And
awesome.
then so Riding's Pass is roughly
perfect.
So yeah, you have Ritter's Marsh is 1/3 down to Thunderstrike, and Riddling's Pass I put 2/3 way down between Altamira and Thunderstrike.
Works perfectly.
Yep. So there, I've found a new place on in an adventure that it's a small town called Riddling's Pass. So
beautiful. I'm excited about that.
Yep.
Super
so there's
cool.
new things happening every day, and now I'm reading things with much more of a kind of intricate eye and keen eye, so to speak. And I have a couple of thousand hours of Greyhawk research in my back, so I know what to look for, and also much more skilled at reading the adventures, so I can kind of dig out things from them. So that was kind of today's cool little find that I found, the Riddling's Pass, and I like the name too. It's kind of cool. So I wonder who Riddling is.
Awesome.
Or was. Yep.
Well, it's great that it's going to be more additions to the map, and that's always it's always a bonus, and it won't affect my stuff. It's just perfect. I love detail on there that enhances what we do. So that's perfect. Perfect. Yep. Absolutely perfect.
So there is a whole bunch of stuff that will be, and I will actually add one of my things to the map that is my kind of name, and that is the lair of Hrothgor will actually be on the map. And Hrothgor is the green dragon. My name, though, the green dragon that appear in the Gord novels, I put his lair in the Welkwood. Perfect. And that one I think is canon enough, or kind of it has enough traction now to actually go on the map. So that's one of my kind of my interpretations, let's call it that, of official content, so to speak. So he has staked out. It's an old green dragon that was depicted in the Gord novels. He's actually on the front cover, I think, when Gord is in that flying chariot and there's a dragon coming up after him. The dragon is not named, I think, in the book, so I named him and put him on there. Hi, Shane.
He's charging up his iPad and then in and out. Yep. All right.
So there will be a huge installment coming for my patrons, a huge new area of the map being ready, so they can kind of scrutinize it and do it. So that will be and then I'm also working on a huge installment for a commercial project that I need to have a deadline on soon, that I'm going to show to the people that commission me to do it, the Cobalt Press. So that will be some cool, but that's nothing that I can talk about more than that yet.
Right.
So that is coming up. So I have very, very busy days to get all that done.
Always good to have new maps. Everyone loves new detail, especially.
Thank you, Grindelwolf. Yep.
Absolutely. So here's what
Great
you
time.
get to meet Grindelwolf
Yes.
Gaetano
Yeah.
because he's playing
Yep.
in my games Friday and Saturday.
Awesome.
So
Yep.
we may get to meet him. We'll bring after
Yep.
we're done. Maybe we'll
Awesome.
run over to your booth. So
Yep.
so this is what's going on. So Thursday night. All right. Well, tomorrow night, Mark's group, Gates of Firestorm Peak, 6 p.m. EST to 9. That's on tomorrow night. No Legends of Lore this week because Anna's traveling here, so that there won't be a Wednesday night Legends Lore. Thursday night, I got one of the picks down, and you can guys decide what all that stuff is that Bill has made for this adventure. But the adventure name is called The Outcast, adventure number 866, and this is the synopsis of what's going to happen on the Heroes of Greyhawk night. Anna will be here. I just got a Discord back from Alan. He went from 50-50 to be there to 60-40 that he's going to be there. All right, so I might have Alan Growy here as well. Okay, so but Anna's definitely here.
Awesome. Yep.
The idea behind this is that Anna's character, Imri Cyrell, she's a Sylvan Elf from the Axewood. She's a Ranger Mage, and for 2 years she's been tracking this individual, and her tracking last 2 years has taken her to Altamira, and that's where we start. And one of our greatest high-end named establishments, the Salty Dog. So that's where we're going to be starting the adventure, because it is a one-nighter, guys. We got to get it all in one sitting. So please note, we're going to do our best to fit that in. That's so. And the adventure group, the Windborn's going to be there, but I have some other little tidbits of characters that'll be around. Because Reginald's not a member of the Windborn; he's a Knight of Ulick. Actually, you're still an apprentice because you never made your Lord status. But he'll be joining us along with some other characters too. It'll be a fun night, guys. Can't wait for it. And that is Thursday night. I'm DMing Friday morning. I'm DMing Horror and Hools Part 1, Carlos. Friday morning. Thursday morning. That's Friday morning. I'm doing one I did 20 years ago. A delve into the Lord's tomb, right in Greyhawk City. A homebrew of mine. It's a whodunit, and then you have to recover something. And I'll say I ripped it off from a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode back then. The idea for it. So there you go. Nothing's unique idea, but it is a homebrew adventure. And then we're going to be going out and meeting people. We're going to meet we're going to be hanging with some people like Eric Mona and stuff. But then Gabbin next week, Sunday, December 8th, it's going to be my experiences at PAX Unplugged. I did one last year for 2018. Now I'm going to do my experiences for 2019. I'll have Walt with me both days. For Friday and Saturday, and Bill Haley, Bill the Master Crafter, will be there on Friday as well. I'll have my group, and we'll be hanging out and taking a lot of pictures, meeting a lot of people. Hopefully, Anna can go out with us to eat afterwards and hang. Well, we got a lot of stuff going on, so that'll finish up this week, where I'm going to be exhausted by that. Yes. Now, huge announcements. Anna's seminar got approved at GaryCon for a time slot of when?
It's going to be on, hang on a second, it's Saturday at 10 a.m.
No, yours is Friday.
No, sorry, Friday. Friday on 10 a.m. Yeah, yours were,
yes.
Because you're the one, I read your last, Friday at 10 a.m. Yep.
Yes. So Anna's is Friday at 10 a.m. The one now for myself and Carlos, who's on, Frank, who may still be on still, and Duff, who are all participating. My DM's roundtable, streaming and technology and D&D is Saturday morning, 10 a.m. It's been approved at GaryCon, but I'm in the other room. I'm in the one with the theater seating in it, but that's fine. So, okay, Frank. Well, I linked it all up. We're good to go. So, all four of us, it should be a good one. We'll be putting together those plans. Also, the fundraiser is scheduled for Saturday, February 15th. This will be our major fundraiser that we did last year in March. We're going to do it before GaryCon, and that is it starts already. It's 20 hours this year, not 16, and we have Carlos slicing starting at 4 a.m. Tim's playing in it, so we got Carlos going on at 4 a.m. Then Marco, we'll probably put it on Jacob Jansen's channel at 8. We got Wicked Studios at noon. We got Nightheart Gaming at 4 p.m. And we have us finishing up at 8 p.m. and that is for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital at 20 hours on 5 channels, guys. And it's going to be Revenge of the Falcon is going to be the name, okay? So that's what we're going to have. Revenge/Return of the Falcon is going to be the idea behind it, and it's going to be great. Anna, hopefully you can play into my part again.
Yeah.
We'll have people all over the place, yeah. And it's good. My part's going to end up in Altamira. Frank's already, yes. You like that, Tim? 20 hours of Greyhawk, guys. So hopefully we raised
Oh,
1,000.
30.
We've raised what's that?
Oh, dark 30.
We raised $1,000 last year, and we had 250 followers. So, guys, I mean, I want at least double what we did last year. I have approached one of my major sponsors, asking them to participate. I have not gotten a response, a yes or no back yet, but hopefully that'll happen too. So that's what's going on. Lots of great stuff. So, I'm so excited about this week. I got to work 3 days, and I'm off Thursday and Friday, but I got to get through the 3 days of work now. So I'm prepped out for all my, because unlike other DMs, I got to take shit with me, right? So I got terrain, I got figures I got to make sure I have it all.
But you live 6 miles from the convention center, so
yeah,
you have it easier than most GMs.
It's a long 6 miles into Philadelphia in the park.
Oh, that's true. Park, yeah.
Parking is the tough part, but I got a spot that we go to. We're going to get there early. We're going to get there like 8 a.m. to make sure we're ready to go. I got approval to put my banner up in the main RPG room too.
Ooh.
So yes, so the RPG, the boss of the RPG room said no problem. You can put it up near your table. So I got my banner going up. That's a good thing. Things are looking up, guys. So that's what's going on. Yes, you are going to have to rent a U-Haul for ReaperCon, and I can't wait for that. But I got to get through GaryCon. I got to get through this PAX next. It's going to be great. And the
I'm
fundraiser.
tired. I need to go get a drink of coffee now.
Yes, absolutely. Lots of stuff going on. So, guys, thanks. Great one. We'll see you tomorrow night, and for Mark's Gates of Firestorm Peak, and then we'll see you. Man, I just hit that button, didn't I? So tomorrow night, Mark goes on to Gates of Firestorm Peak. Will anyone survive? Who knows? All good things. Hopefully, Alan will be here again Thursday as well. And guys, if you haven't already, I think everyone has, but please go on our Discord. Why isn't it shouting that out? That's weird. Our Discord is not shouting out the link to the Discord server. Legends of Lore will be back a week from Wednesday, and I put down Knighthoods at Greyhawk, and that's.
But that might change. We'll see.
Yes, it says should be note chance for a special guest in this time slot as well. So we'll see on the 11th of December.
We have something that might be in the works that might be really,
and we'll just push that back to the 18th.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I'm going to call it an evening. Thank you all for another great discussion. It's good to be back after being off like a week. The holidays were nice, but we're over Christmas. It's going to be the same thing. But I'm going to go to the exit screen now if I can remember how to do this. So thank you all, and thank you all for participating in the fundraisers and everything that I do. Without you guys, hey man, it's just me sitting up here talking to myself, right? So thanks all, right? Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Anna. Thanks. Everyone who watched tonight, thank you. Another great one, and let's keep the bloggers. Are coming out, and we got all these new bloggers coming. We're gonna try to do Legends of the Lore on that down the road. Another great thing. Greyhawk's making a great comeback. So we'll see you guys all tomorrow night. I'll be modding. Hopefully, Rox will be on modding too. And we'll see you then.
Bye.
You got to roll, Tim. It's cool. I just want to talk to Anna real quick about Thursday.
All right. I will. And see you later. Jay,
all right.
See you later.
I'll talk to you before Thursday.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. That was, I took the chance. I realized, damn, now I'm at the computer again, so I need to...
you got done. Yeah, that was great because...
Yep. I had a few things that I could contribute. Not that much because this is not my topic, but it's...
Yeah, it's this one was it's a lot of accumulated things that we've done over 30 years, you know. So. Yeah, support Marco tomorrow night, guys. We'll see you on tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST. Have a good one.